Hi YouTube, it's your boy Grassy TV, and welcome to another Here's Each 2 video. Sub-skill trees are a new feature coming in Season 5 and are designed to provide a more tailored experience, letting players focus on specific playstyles and strategies that better suit their preferences. Each tree will offer a mix of passive and active abilities, allowing for a wide range of build options, enhancing both character customization and gameplay depth. To access this new feature, simply click the plus sign at the top right of the skill you're looking to spec into. A new window will pop up that looks just like this. Here's how this works. You always start at the bottom, then lines connect to smaller travel nodes that grant stacking buffs. At the end, every skill has 4 larger nodes that are very build defining, known as augments. You cannot have more than 1 augment per skill, but you can spec as many skills as you have allocated. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing each of the skills sub-skill trees for the Amazon class, going through every node and demonstrating each augment. I will have timestamps available so you can easily navigate to your favorite skills. Now before we get started, this video is not intended to simulate DPS or serve as an indicator of which skills will be the best for Season 5. The goal here is simply to generate early conversations regarding sub-skill functionality, improvements, and diversity to ensure that every skill in Season 5 brings something fresh and exciting to the game. Use the comments to share your thoughts, or feel free to share a build that you've theory crafted. I'm streaming Season 5 beta on Twitch at twitch.tv/Graxy_TV, and I would be happy to check out any of these new build ideas that you guys have. Let's get going. The first skill is Noxious Strike. Starting with the travel nodes, we have increased damage dealt, inflicts poison on hit, increased damage to poison targets, increased projectile count on spin attack, increases the damage and area of effect of your third attack, increase in attack damage and attack range while wielding a pole arm. Killing a monster with Noxious Strike grants you a burst of movement speed, increases poison damage, inflicts poison break on hit, and chance on attack to perform an additional Noxious Strike. The first augment is spinning spear tips. Throw multiple spears on your third attack in an arc. The spears start spinning when hitting the ground, dealing area of effect damage for a short period. Second is explosive toxins. Poison projectiles explode on hit, dissolving into an acidic pool, inflicting poison break and dealing additional damage. The acidic pool area of effect radius is increased based on your dexterity. Third is elemental fragmentation. Increases damage dealt by Noxious Strike and inflicts stacking elemental break on hit. That's 105% elemental break. And fourth, Noxious Sequence. Perform additional spin attacks after the third one. The second skill is Leaping Ambush. Starting with the travel nodes, we have increased maximum leap distance, increased damage dealt, chance to rain down following spears on hit dealing additional damage, increased area of effect radius, chance on hit to stun the target, increased damage to stun targets, chance on hit to inflict poison, landing grants you a burst of attack speed and cast rate, inflict poison break on hit, and gain increased damage reduction when leaping. The first augment is Envenomous Ground Slam. Unleash a burst of poison from the ground on hit, dealing increased damage and inflicting poison. Second is Master of Agility. Leaping Ambush can now be casted through terrain with decreased damage. Third is Arc of Spears. Throw multiple piercing spears around you upon landing, dealing increased damage. And fourth, Ground Stomper. When landing, stomp the ground multiple times with increased area of effect radius, dealing increased damage. The third skill is Caustic Spearhead. Starting with the travel nodes, we have increased projectile amount, inflicts poison on hit, increased damage dealt, inflict venom on hit, increasing damage dealt by poison. Spearheads have a chance to fork on hit with increased damage, increased attack rating, increased projectile speed, chance to inflict poison break on hit, chance for spearheads to get stuck on enemies, dealing damage over time for a short period, and chance for spearheads to explode on hit, dealing increased damage with increased area of effect radius. The first augment is Caustic Arc. Split spearheads into multiple arrows and a circle around the target on hit. Just a heads up, I have no projectile speed on. All I have on is the Breath of the Damned and the Sight of the Gods to move around. That's just how fast the Proj speed is. Second is Caustic Rampage. Fire additional smaller spearheads in a tighter spread, increasing the chance of inflicting critical strikes and dealing increased critical strike damage. Third is Toxic Spores. Caustic Spearhead leaves spores behind, seeking nearby monsters and exploding on hit, dealing additional damage and inflicting poison. And fourth, Venomous Burst. Whenever a monster reaches maximum stacks of venom, it bursts into a poison nova, dealing the full damage of venom, consuming it. I do believe this one was changed. I think initially it was doing Envenom and they've changed it to Poison Nova. It just needs to be actually added into the game. The fourth skill is Death from Above. Starting with the travel nodes, we have increased cast rate, increased following speed and damage dealt, increased damage dealt by Death from Above to monsters at maximum life, decreased mana cost. Death from Above deals additional damage based on your bonus movement speed. Increased damage dealt to bosses. If there are no nearby enemies, Death from Above covers a large area with increased damage. Now has a chance to critically strike, dealing increased critical strike damage. Increase your maximum life and mana on hit for a short period. And chance to fire an additional Death from Above. The first augment is Spear Delivery. There are multiple spears in an arc, unleashing Death from Above on hit. Second is Ancient Device. Summon an Ancient Device, periodically firing Death from Above on nearby targets based on your cooldown recovery. Third is Detonation Shower. Chance on landing for spears to explode, dealing increased damage. And fourth, Storm of Spears. Multiple waves of spears rain down over time in a larger area that slowly follows the closest enemy. Death from Above now has a small cooldown. The fifth skill is Envenom, and I left this one for last here in the poison tree because it is a passive. Basically, it makes it so that strikes have a chance to unleash a toxic fissure on all enemies around you, dealing poison damage and poisoning them. So all of the skills that you've seen in here have a chance to proc Envenom, which is going to be all these different travel nodes and the augments that are on it as well. So starting with the travel nodes, we have increased proc chance, inflicts poison on hit, chance for a fissure to burst twice, increased damage dealt, chance to unleash a venomous nova, dealing a portion of the target's life as damage, increased area of effect radius, chance to unleash an additional Envenom on nearby monsters, inflicts slow, increased damage to poison targets, and chance to increase the poison damage on hit. The first augment is Stacked Weakness, inflicts stacking poison break on hit. Again, Envenom is the proc here. So all of these spears going everywhere is not the Envenom. The monsters being knocked up is the Envenom. Second is Rapid End. Increase poison damage and the tick frequency of poisoned. Third is Envenova. Third is Envenova. Unleash a poisonous nova with increased damage. And fourth, Venom Wave, unleashes waves of fissures from targets, dealing additional damage. The sixth skill is Astrope's Gift. Starting with the travel nodes, we have additional projectiles when using a throw weapon, increased damage dealt, chance to inflict lightning break on hit, chance to unleash an additional lightning bolt, grants you a stacking attack speed buff on hit. All stacks are lost if you miss. Lightning bolts deal increased damage based on the target's life, increased damage dealt to bosses when using pole arms, increased movement diminish, increased attack rating, and chance to inflict stasis on hit. The first augment is Surging Stormbolt. Lightning strikes now unleash an AoE pulse with increased area of effect radius and damage. Second is Thundering Storm. Summons a Thundering Storm, dealing area of effect damage for a short period instead of a lightning bolt. Third is Critical Thunderbolt. Lightning bolts can critically hit, dealing increased critical strike damage when using pole arms. This gives the skill 30% critical strike chance and 300% crit strike damage. And fourth, Eye of the Storm. Summon a storm following you and rapidly shrinking. Hitting a monster causes the storm to grow in size. The 7th skill is Rebound. Starting with the travel nodes, we have increased amount of rebounds, increased damage dealt, increased maximum range, chance on hit for the rebound projectile to split into additional rebounds, increases the amount of rebounds from the initial hit, damage is reduced, increased attack rating, rebound gains additional crit damage on each bounce, chance to inflict armor break, increases attack speed when using a bow, and increases projectile speed. The first augment is Electrocharged Rebound, chance to strike targets with bolts of lightning on hit. Second is Rebound. Rebound now increases its damage and size with every bounce and explodes at the end, dealing additional damage in a large radius. Third is Orbital Rebound. When hitting an enemy, spawn the rebound projectile orbiting you until it hits a monster. And fourth, Kickback Projectile. Rebound projectiles now return to you instead of expiring, dealing increased damage to monsters on its path. The 8th skill is Spearnage. Starting with the travel nodes, we have increased damage dealt, increase the amount of spears thrown, increase attack rating, increase lightning damage, spears grow in size and gain increased damage while traveling, chance to inflict armor break, increase Spearnage projectile speed, decrease movement diminish, increase damage dealt to bosses, and spears have a chance to ricochet towards another target on hit. The first augment is Spinning to Win. Rapidly throw spears around you for a short duration, dealing increased damage. Second is Lightning Ball. Chance on hits to spawn a ball of lightning, traveling towards the target, dealing lightning damage and inflicting lightning break. Third is Boomerang Spears. Spears now return to you, dealing increased damage. And fourth, Explosive Spear Tips. Spears now explode on hit, dealing area effect damage in an increased radius. The 9th skill is Storm Dash. Starting with the travel nodes, we have increased frequency, increased damage dealt, increase the amount of chain lightning bounces. Chain lightning has a chance to call down a thunderbolt on the target, dealing additional damage, increase maximum range. When landing, unleash a lightning explosion or additional area of effect damage and stunning on hit. Unleash lightning strikes on nearby monsters when landing, chance to stun, increase damage dealt to stun targets, and you can now travel through terrain, but the damage of Storm Dash is reduced. The first augment is Lightning Trail. Leave behind a trail of lightning, inflicting electrified and lightning break. Nemo! Second is Storm Orbs. Landing on monsters summons lightning bolts, orbiting around you and continuously zapping nearby monsters with chain lightning. Storm Dash now has a cooldown. Third is Storm Gates. Link to a target location, summoning a lightning storm and unleashing chain lightning. And fourth, Pillar of Storm. Leave behind a trail of storm. Pillars of Storm are linked with a chain lightning, dealing a damage and inflicting stasis on hit. The 10th and final skill is Thunder Fury. Starting with the travel nodes, we have increased lightning damage dealt, chance to inflict lightning break on hit, recover a portion of your life on hit, decreased movement speed diminish, execute low life monsters, chance to stun monsters on hit, increased damage to stun targets, chance to critically hit dealing increased damage based on your intelligence, stun targets unleash an exploding lightning pulse on hit, and increase the range of Thunder Fury. The first augment is Arc Lightning. Thunderbolts unleash an arc of lightning bolts behind the target. Second is Leaping Thunder. Release chain lightning on hit with increased number of bounces. Third is Vacuuming Thunder. Thunderbolts pull targets to the initial point of impact, followed by a surge of lightning dealing area of effect damage. And fourth, Electric Essence, inflicting lightning break and stasis to targets on hit. And fourth, Electric Essence, inflict lightning break and stasis to targets on hit. And for those of you that don't know what stasis is, it's this electricity that's just sitting here on monsters. It just does lightning damage over time. And then of course the shield is your lightning break. And that's going to wrap up all these sub-skill trees for the Amazon class. What was your favorite augment? Let me know in the comments. If you want to stay up to date with Season 5 beta, be sure to subscribe to this channel to always know when I post a new video. Come check me out live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Graxy_TV. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave it a like, as it does help me a ton. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.